something really good there about free energy devices. This is what I was doing, well, kind of interested in. Before I exposed one of the biggest of humanity's mind control deceptions ever to have been imposed upon society, ever since catching them out and showing myself up, really showing myself up like a fucking twat, like an absolute twat, excuse my language. Something to draw some attention from somewhere, because who I caught out here is true. Who I caught out. Now I don't have to convince the people around me, because they can think whatever they want to think. What they don't realise, or they don't want to realise, or they can't realise, or they're incapable of realising, or maybe that's it. Maybe that is it. That they're literally programmed not to understand this. It seems the case anyway, because whatever's true is true to them, and they think that I'm the enemy. For some reason, when in fact it was nothing to do with them. I was kind of, like I said all along, it was these other people I was kicking up a fuss about. Just so happened that I had really cool friends. Not that cool really. Who did what they did, and it's not their fault either. So I'm not they're not blaming them. But that's what these sneaky fuckers done. And the original ones which I caught online, the serious ones, ones with fucking big trouble, they blame shifted. Well, I think they can get away with this. That's what's fucking weird, right? Is these narcs, they can carry on thinking whatever they're thinking, because it's going to really, it's shown already. I don't know whether they can see this or not. They probably can't, or they don't want to see it, or whatever. And it's nothing to do with them really. But what I've exposed, what I couldn't understand is that people could not see this as all round bad. That's what blew my mind. First of all, is that I couldn't get that people could not get that this was bad. Like people telling or putting it in someone's mind that they're spying on a person through a remote viewing apparatus. That doesn't involve a camera or anything, so it doesn't really matter about the CCTV. Fuck that. I mean, that's why I'm fucking not bothered living on the A6. When you get kind of like it put in your mind that you're being watched anyway by a fucking remote viewer, or a group of them, then cameras don't really matter. They don't. So anyway, with this seed of doubt, that remote viewing thing, put in someone's mind, and lots of other shit. I mean, that's the tip of the iceberg. Like I said, there's people in my life who could have understood all different aspects of this. So there was the remote viewing aspect, and someone could understand about that because they have the evidence in their garden to prove that, and I still got the receipt as well, because I paid for that remote viewing course, didn't I? But I still get all the fucking emails from that Todd guy. I didn't even fucking go down to it. And, the person knows what I'm on about. But I'm not blaming you. But the original one, the one that they've met, yes. Because they met one of their agents. And they can't remember it, but the agent can. And that's Wendy, yeah. Wendy Moran, who came over. Well, came over or came up. Came over, I reckon. I didn't have a clue about anything. And said that she'd been in jail for 20 years. Right, okay. That's the excuse. For what? For smoking weed or something like that. Something stupid. You were like, fucking hell, 20 years for that? Shit off. You know where she spent her time, eh? And, well, I'm just talking to people who fucking have a slight clue. People who don't worry about it. Turn off, get back to your programs, back to your fucking computer, whatever. So, that's it. This is fucking funny, this. 3 energy devices. Like, if I was Elon Musk, I wouldn't bother fucking making these rockets, man. What I would invest in, most of all, is some free energy devices that people can make at home. Almost free energy, though. I was interested in calibrated kinetics and magnetics, monopole flywheels and stuff like that. This is before I, busted out those nasty people who were mind-polluting people. Me mainly, I guess, because I don't think any other people were involved with this forum who weren't part of their group, to be honest with you. Well, it seems that way anyway. Either that or they've all fucking buried themselves underneath rocks. Not to see what's going on here. And if anyone brings up orgonite, that word, now I know why it is so dodgy to mention orgonite. Remember back in the day when people were saying, oh, you can make orgonite, you're going to get a black helicopter above your house, and loads of CIA and MI5 people looking at you and shit. I have to make orgonite. It was all those like old wives' tales doing the rounds, weren't they? And people were backing it up as well. I mean, that's why I started making it. And I was making it on my roof as well. Broad daylight. Where the fucking helicopters then? Come on. Where are these aliens? These people like making shitty bits of orgonite and then having alien experiences. Aliens turning up in their rooms, yeah. And they were going on TV and the internet and daytime TV too. Talking about this. Freaky as fuck. All the while, funny enough, the person speaking about that lived, I don't know if they still live there, but they actually mentioned online where they lived. It wasn't that far away from where my unit was. Literally about a mile, probably not even that, half a mile. And they had a mini cloudbuster in their kitchen. And had regular visits from Greys and stuff like that, and other aliens. It's brilliant. Okay, now, man. And that was on the basis thing that Miles Johnston, what is it? Project Shamalot and stuff like that. And I got given loads of information by these people. In loads of... In retrospect, these are real clues as to the depth of this, because these people weren't joking around, and much the same as I was joking around, people thought I might have been, and it was put in a jokey way because it was so serious as well. I didn't know what was going to happen at first. Still don't really, Good. Yeah, good. Other people seem to think that they know what's going to happen. Good for them, too. Good for them. Oh yeah, but if I was going to be Elon Musk for a day, I wouldn't be bothered about a rocket. I'd make a self-powered house. I've got the idea and the plans for this. It involves a wall, and you can have it concealed or as a feature. So imagine a whole wall, say in your lounge. This is scaled down now, but obviously it could be scaled up. Imagine a room, and there was a trough of water or glycerine, maybe glycerine, at the top and a trough at the bottom, and a wall, perspex wall, clear wall, with a succession of Archimedes screws, all in a row, about 10 of them. Archimedes screws connected the bottom trough of water to the top trough of water, yeah? And an axle, drive shaft with a cog pattern on it, like one of those cogs that's like slanted like that, the one I mean, where it can turn something when it at an angle. Those cogs, yeah? People know what I mean. I don't know what they call them, but one of those things to turn all the Archimedes screws, and the axle is connected to a large water wheel, of which the only way that the water can get down is through a tunnel which goes into a trough, which turns the water wheel, which turns the Archimedes screws and gets more water, whether it be warm or cold, more water back up to the top trough again. And it's gravity involved, water, and calibrated mechanics. No magnets involved in this. But yeah, I mean, imagine a house built like that, with it, the whole side of it, or you could have all the walls like that if you wanted. You could make features out of it and all sorts. You could even use some sort of heavier liquid, because when it's all calibrated right, the Archimedes screws takes less energy to turn water up to a level than it does to turn the screw. So if the water has nowhere to go except into a bucket of a water wheel, which forces it down, and that can only force the rotary axle to turn the cogs, which turn the Archimedes screws, in which get more water back up to the top again. And of course, the water wheel being connected to a dynamo type of unit to gather electric and shit. Now that's a self-perpetuating machine using fluid dynamics and calibrated kinetics. Couldn't it? Fuck the rockets, you know what I mean? Build one of them. And I've also had loads of ideas about localized mini substations, people's houses. In the basement, a big flywheel, big heavy flywheel. That's my favourite one, a flywheel. And I'll go on about that another day. But Yeah, it's brilliant, this. I mean, that's how I discovered about Tesla, Nikola Tesla. You know, not Elon Musk, Nikola Tesla. Does anyone know about that person? And he's nothing to do with Elon Musk at all, apart from Elon Musk nicking his name a little bit, and you know, because of the references and all this and that. Yeah, so I mean that's interesting, isn't it? But no one wants to bother about this. I'm talking about an actual house with a feature, like a wall feature, a succession of Archimedes screws in acrylic tubing, so you can see the screw going around. It's really nice and visual. You can even put a coloured dye into the water, so you can have a coloured water if you want, or even have it a neutral colour and shine light into it, which changes colour to nice, isn't it? I know it's all very pretty, but the actual concept is pretty simple, isn't it? If anyone knows about Archimedes screws, and that they got that strange what is it? Bending of gravity, or bending of the laws of what is it? I forgot the name of the law, which says that it's impossible. You know, stuff we get taught at school and shit. What's it called? Oh, I don't know. Slipped my mind. Pretty good thing actually, because it is possible. Because I know it is. I worked it all out. And if anyone knows about Archimedes screws and a little bit about gearing, and even not that much about gearing, more about, like, if you could use glycerine, it wouldn't never rust. And glycerine, vegetable glycerine, quite easy to get. You get fucking litres of that shit, and it won't evaporate either. And you can't do the same job, I guess. You know, weight ratio wise, you know, why not? Why the heck not? Feel like my thingy. It's getting there, isn't it? Sharpened it up a bit. I got a new cabinet as well. It's pretty heavy. It's from IKEA. Got off Daydreams. Yeah, and his partner give it. That's cool, isn't it? It's a good little storage cabinet. Yeah, so like free energy devices. That's where it's at, like, you know. And that's, you know, when people get past this moment of realising that something really got caught out here. And because it got caught out to such an extent, all they did was just stay quiet and try and keep everyone else quiet too, and try and keep everyone not from finding this out too much. And all the while doing some weird blame shifting because they know about law and stuff, and about how it works and the possibilities. And they're kind of like looking at me like, what am I going to do? But I'm still looking at them, really, you know, these people, original people who were caught on a line originally, who was kicking up a fuss about, yeah, not the narcs around me, no. Fuck them. I mean, bollocks to them. They can carry on thinking whatever they want to think, you know. This is how it is. Because people out there know who I triggered and who I attacked and who I exposed. And people don't do it. People just don't do this. Apart from, actually, no one. No one else has done this. So, I'm not saying I'm special, you know that. But, you know, because no one's done this before. Ever. No one's got anything to compare this against, do they? Really. And the people who can, who know fully well, are either involved with it or just fucking staying quiet, like I said all along. Staying quiet because it is sensitive. Yeah, it does really fucking push people's knobs. Doesn't it? Push people's buttons, this. I don't know what, I mean, I don't know why I say I don't know why. Because I do know why. But because of that, knowing, still doesn't like get to the point where these people who really show themselves up now, like I said, I find it sickening to actually read back on some of these things because they're so obvious what they were doing, what they were involved with, and almost like when they were taking the piss, you know. Now this is illegal, yes? People out there who don't realise that this is massively illegal and more illegal than anything that I've done. Anything that people can even imagine me doing. This is mega illegal. Illegal, that's right. That means against the law. And against not just the governmental laws. Let's just leave it at that kind of thing. But yeah, really going against the grain, you know. And all people did, who know how serious this is just sit back and watch. Either that or just like ignore this. And everyone's like all talking about why the world's gone crazy and all this lockdown and shit like this and freaking nothing's making sense and all the fucking politicians gone mad and they're just making no sense and coming out with these fucking weird numbers and shit and talking about fucking mad codes and they all look like fucking weird puppets. They all look like fucking they're weird, don't they? What's wrong with them? Can anyone else see this? Fuck. Yeah, it's a lonely world. Which is good. You know, it's good. But yeah, I enjoyed that like Sam Viking one earlier on. That was quite good. I wasn't slagging him off. That's too much Sam, was I? You're probably not watching this anyway. But yeah, you know, what you said about that earlier on, I can't forget what you said now, but it was about the sexes and the condition of humanity, and you put it into, you know, into your terms and stuff, and you worded it quite very well actually, like a scientist, professor, or a psychologist would. And that's what you are, aren't you? Talking to Sam now, yeah. Anyway, I reckon it's because of these people. Much of these mental issues have been so prevalent in today's society, and society itself does nothing except fuel this fire and put more fuel on it. It does not do anything to help one bit, in the mainstream anyway. It's all fuel on the fire. People can see this. Don't want any knocks around me, fucking, if you're still watching. Well, why? Because, you know, it's not really, I'm not talking to you. I noticed that empaths are probably not going to watch this either. No need. Norms? Nah, can't be bothered. They don't even know what I'm on about. So, and now not really getting the buzz anymore because they're not seeing me in pain. Well, I let them know I'm in pain, really. You know, Don't show it though. It's kind of like just a deep wound that people know could be healed easily, but people either just don't want to heal it because they're committed to their own devices or their own highway. It's my way or the highway, baby, type thing. Or I'm just trying to think of these possibilities now. They were getting a buzz out of it and enjoyed. Whether they knew how serious this was or not, I'm sure they could have got their head around it. You know, if they bothered to understand it a bit more. Perhaps they did. Perhaps they didn't. It doesn't really matter. What am I talking about the dogs? Oh yeah, because they actually were similar. They're so similar, in fact, eerily the same as these people online who were caught out. And when I caught them out, do you know what they did? They flipped and got really narky with me. Except for the main one who just shut up. And I don't know whether he's still alive or not, honestly. A couple of my commenters do mention him. And yeah, he was involved with this organite thing. So I mean, if anyone talks about organite, can anyone mention it again without having a black helicopter above their house, without getting a fucking visit from a fucking Men in Black? Or was that like a projection of how it's going to be when people talk about organite now? Probably going to get a YouTube ban. Probably actually get my channel removed from YouTube by talking about free energy and organite. Sorry, I just got a little bit of trapped wind there. Nearly burped in the camera's face, but I didn't. Where am I? As in headwise, I know where I am. I'm in a place where things are viewed and analysed, and there's a conclusion, and it doesn't involve people around me, but it involves. It kind of did up to a point, yeah. And it's well past that, and they can't do anything about that, and there's no need to talk about them anymore. So, bring it right back to these originators of this mind pollution online that I found out. They were part of a big, massive operation, an offshoot of something which people know of, and people are quite not. It's not really their thing to talk about if they're not involved with it. I mean, who would talk about these people if they were never involved with them? You know, with what they show online about what happens to a person if you talk about these people in a critical way. Well, that's what I did years ago, and just to see what would happen. You know, lots of people thought I just did it for a laugh, you know, just to show off. But in fact, it was a deep experiment that I was conducting because I had all the reason to do it, just for my own discovery, because this was edging. I was hanging on the edge of something here. I just had to make sure, you know, before letting the world know. And you know, not to become famous or anything, just to let the world know. And not care, really, as long as people fucking knew what people were getting themselves into unknowingly, and what other people knew that people were getting themselves into knowingly, and getting a buzz off it too. As in these people who make stories up, like fearful ones, ones that scare people, scare adults. You know, like the sort of children ghost story, campfire ghost stories, but made for adults, sort of thing. Those types of stories and shit, whether they be true or not. But it's like I said, I referred to it as soft MK, touchless MK. You just don't need to touch anyone. You just feed them the stories, and you feed them enough of these horrific stories, talking about people who have slight interest or slight maybe concern, or even if they get a thrill off it or a buzz off finding out all these crazy stories about what humanity is capable of, and all the levels of that it's capable of. And yeah, I like this thing. Look at this. Swinging my leg there, look. Swinging my leg, baby. Free energy device. What time's it now? Fucking hell, I've really spoke too much. Okay, I'll be back in a bit.